Are you into triathlon at all? Do you follow the sport and its international tournaments? If that is the case, then you've probably heard of the town that this video is all about. Hello travellers, I hope you're doing fabulously well. My name is Johannes and this is a new episode of Visit Franconia. Today we are in a little town called Roth, spelled with a TH, but in German TH is pronounced like a T. Roth in many respects is a very typical Franconian town, roughly about 30 kilometers south of Nuremberg. But there are a few things that set the town apart from many others. Let's just start with something very typical, with the old medieval town centre. The town was first mentioned in documents in the year 1060, but settlements at its location date back much further. During the Middle Ages, the town was given the right to grant asylum within the city walls. Later, this tradition attracted Huguenot refugees who had to flee France because of religious persecution. The architecture in town, influenced by a large variety of ideas, traditions and styles, reflects a long and rich history. Like in many other European towns, there's a weekly market day where regional producers offer their goods. The main tourist attraction in town is Margrave Castle, which was built from 1535 to 1538 by George the Pious, Margrave of Brandenburg-Ansbach. Even though his byname might suggest it, the castle was not built for religious uses, but as a hunting lodge. If you look at this room here, it makes it quite simple to imagine the Margrave having a feast together with his friends after a successful day of hunting. But in reality, most of what you see is from the 19th century. In 1792, the castle was sold to this man, Johann Philipp Stieber. His grandson, Wilhelm von Stieber, who became a peer in 1904 and a baron in 1915, had the castle interior redecorated starting in 1892, with the great ballroom in the center being the masterpiece and highlight. Wilhelm, who was a great admirer of the arts, even built an additional hall to put on show his personal collections. Still today, the castle holds paintings from the 19th and early 20th century and is used up to 6 times a year for special exhibitions of modern art. All of that turns Margrave Castle into a place where you can enjoy art from a variety of periods. But Roth has to offer a lot more than that. A very different kind of art. This place, the Kulturfabrik or Culture Factory, plays host to a yearly jazz and blues festival. And this is what it sounds like. Every year in April, the Roth Blues Days, an international blues festival, attracts a huge audience. Artists from around the world perform in town at this annual fixture in the European blues calendar.
Some kind of fool I was when I was a young boy.
One of my favorite places in town is the Bavaria Cinema. As a Franconian, I'm not too fond of its title, but very much so of its interior and especially of its staff. The cinema is a small family business with a much more intimate atmosphere than the big multiplex cinemas in the area. The staff includes Tomcat Kleiner Mann, or Little Man in English, and his new apprentice, Bonnie. My wife and I were there recently. On a Wednesday night, we were almost the only guests, and the only ones that the two Tomcats had to care for. In the teaser, I mentioned triathlon. That has to do with an event that is known amongst triathletes around the world, the Roth Triathlon or Roth Challenge. Each year, the event attracts 3,500 athletes and hundreds of thousands of fans from around the world. Like the Blues Days, the Roth Challenge is an absolute fixture in the town's calendar and has been so for over 35 years.
Up an amazing event for us, one of the best stages in our sport.
Yeah, I mean the spectators, the crowds, they were amazing, and I think without them I probably wouldn't have finished, so just having them to lift the atmosphere and carry me to the end.
A large part of that triathlon actually happens in and around this artificial waterway here, the Danube Canal, and that also means that you can come to Roth by ship. The canal was opened in 1992 after 32 years of construction work and has become an important part of the region. Roth has a harbour for cruise ships and cargo. But the main part of the town's economy is based on the so-called Mittelstand, or medium-sized companies, like Leoni, for example, who produce high-tech wires. So that was it from me. If you have a question or if you want to add something, please leave a comment in the comment section. I will put all the links into the description. And then please leave a like if you want to, or subscribe if you want to have more information about Franconia. So bye, see you next time.